The Reload Slurp Rush update is out, and it has a new map called Slurp Rush. Why did we go naming the map the same as the update this time? I don't know, that's weird. Anyways, this is the most unique Reload map that we have so far, because instead of being based off of Chapter 1, it's based off of Chapter 2. That, and also the fact that this is the first time that we got a trailer where there wasn't someone saying Reload in the background, that kind of made me sad. The update itself is pretty good. The loot pool is amazing, and so is the map, and this map proves a point that Epic themselves refuses to realize. Chapter 2 is more than just Season 2. And, would you look at that, when you lean into other parts of Chapter 2 that aren't just Season 2, it suddenly starts to feel a lot more fresh, don't you think? I never thought that a Chapter 2 Reload map would be able to rival the Chapter 1 versions, but here we are. It's like they cooked this time, but instead of cooking oil, they used Slurp Juice, and I am all here for it. It's like this map was made for me, as someone who mains the Slurp God himself. I approve of this map. And now I finally get to talk about every little thing that makes this map so fun, and why I want to see Epic experiment more with things that aren't just Chapter 2 Season 2. But first, as usual, you know the drill, code chugga in the item shop, no spaces, hashtag Epic Partner. I did disappear for like a little bit longer than usual this time, so make sure that the code didn't disappear in the item shop too. Thank you. Welcome to Slurp Rush. Now I'm sure, as you have noticed because I've said it before, unlike Oasis and Venture, this map is based off of good old Chapter 2. But they did something more unique this time. If Venture uses Tilted Towers as its main spot, based off of Chapter 1's most popular location being Tilted Towers, and Oasis, based off of the desert, uses the desert POI, which is Paradise Palms, people were kind of surprised to see that the Chapter 2 version of Reload didn't use the Agency as its middle location. So what did it use? Slurpy Swamp. Slurpy Swamp makes a perfect middle location, especially for what this update is trying to accomplish. It's big enough for everyone to actually land in. I'm looking at you, Paradise Palms. It's still a pretty iconic POI of Chapter 2, so it doesn't feel out of place or anything. And it complements the actual theme of the map perfectly. While yes, this map may be Chapter 2 themed, that's not the only theme that this goes for. You see, in Slurpy Swamp, there is so many heals, and it doesn't stop there. There's heals everywhere on this map. We got both more heals in the loot pool, including Chug Jug and Slurp Juices, but it doesn't even stop there. A bunch of stuff from Slurpy Swamp actually moves over to the rest of the map as well, meaning we have Slurp Barrels, the giant Slurp tanks, and we got Slurp Trucks. Slurp everything is around here. Even the Slurp water from Slurpy Swamp is here. It's such a cool idea in general to have a Slurp themed map, and for Reload, having a bunch of heals everywhere is actually also a really cool idea. I don't know what that movement was, but sure. I mean, when you come back all the time, spawning in with no shield, it's pretty nice to have a place to drop in and heal up. The loot pool also complements everything pretty well. There are so many good weapons that just feel good to use. Weapons that I kinda didn't realize how much I missed. The Thunder Shotgun is a solid hitting weapon. The Mammoth Pistol, fan favorite weapon, don't need to explain any further. Combat Shotgun, it may not be as good as it used to be, but man, it is a fun weapon to use, so I don't even care. All this stuff feels refreshing, especially with all the POIs that they chose. You've got some of the more obvious ones like Steamy Stacks, Slurpy Swamp as we said, and Dirty Docks, because those are some main POIs from Chapter 2. But we've also got some other takes on some other POIs that are smaller. Lockie's Lighthouse got turned into Lockdown Lighthouse. Logjam Woodworks got actually turned into its own POI, kinda like Chapter 3. Fort Crumpet gets its time to shine. Can't forget about that. And Boomin' Base is an interesting one. I was curious on what Boomin' Base was meant to be when the actual map got revealed, and it's the Ego Bases, but one giant Ego Base. That's awesome. The map feels like it's basically the perfect size. Oasis felt a little bit too big for me, so this feels like shrinking it was a pretty good idea. Slurp Rush has the perfect blend between really solid POIs, mixed with a really solid loot pool, mixed with a really solid map layout, mixed with a really solid gimmick. This map is just so much fun. Part of the reason this video has taken so long to come out is because I keep playing it. I can't stop. I am diamond rank and I'm going to hit Unreal by the time the first week ends. Mark my words, this map feels authentic to Chapter 2. As weird as it sounds, it almost feels more Chapter 2-like than Remix felt Chapter 2-like. Something about the vibes of this map, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the Chapter 2 graphics, even though they kept the Chapter 1 skybox. and the storm clouds are still broken. Something about it just feels like Chapter 2. It feels like all of Chapter 2. Running around this map gives me the same vibes as not only running around in Chapter 2 Season 1 or Chapter 2 Season 2, but running around in Chapter 2 Season 7, maybe even Chapter 2 Season 8. It gets me kind of excited because I kind of want to see what else they can do with Chapter 2 for Reload. You know, after Chapter 2 Remix ended, something about it felt weird to me. I know a big part of it was the gameplay and how everyone died within the first 3 zones, so it felt really empty playing, but something about it, I wish they did more. And now after getting Slurp Rush and Reload, I know exactly what more I wish they did. Experimented with the entire rest of Chapter 2. They only did Season 2. There is a whole 7 other seasons. Part of this is why Chapter 2 Remix didn't feel as good of a revisit to Chapter 2 as Fortnite Reload Slurp Rush does. Remix felt so focused on Season 2 because that's the season of Chapter 2 that everyone remembers and looks back fondly on, that it kind of forgot to include the rest of Chapter 2. There was Season 3 with the Flood, Season 5 with all the sand in the middle of the map, Season 7 with the alien invasion, one of the best seasons of all time, might I add. I mean, hey, even Chapter 2 Season 1, just the very beginning, had a different vibe than Season 2. And clearly it worked well, because we did it again. It feels like a blank slate we have right now. This Reload map is based more off of Season 1 than any other season, and even then, it doesn't feel boring. It feels fun. In fact, some of the most fun that Reload has ever felt. It's awesome. This is the creativity that I love to see, and I would love to see more of it. Taking a season of Chapter 2, remixing it up together, and adding its own unique spin on it that still feels really Fortnite-like, with all the Slurp Juice. This is the Fortnite fun that I like to see. I know there's definitely some people that thought that the agency might have been the better pick for the middle POI, cause a lot of people, when they think of Chapter 2, they think of Season 2. But like, I'm very glad that they went with Slurpy Swamp. I swear I'm not biased just because of who I main. Now this does make me curious. What other Reload maps are we gonna get? Are we gonna get a potential Chapter 3 map? Maybe Chapter 4? I don't know. What about a Vibin themed map? You guys know how much I like Vibin. There's a lot they can do with Reload, and it's really exciting to think about. And this right here, this map right here, is some very solid proof that there's a lot that they can do with Reload. Reload Slurp Rush is a very good example of how you don't always need to pick what the community might think is the best, but instead, go for what's the most fun. Go for what's the most unique. Agency may have been the obvious pick, but if we had the agency, we wouldn't have Slurp Rush. This is the beauty of Reload. Reload isn't Battle Royale, and it isn't Fortnite OG. It doesn't have to stick to exactly what was in the past, and it can remake stuff and remix it into a smaller form factor that's more unique and fun to play. Having this Chapter 2 map be Slurp themed helps Reload stand out from the other 2 modes. Since Reload isn't entirely Chapter 1 focused anymore, that gives OG its time to shine. I think that's awesome. But Epic, whatever you do, just please leave the Chapter 4 jungle out of this, because I don't think that no, that's not worth it. That can stay in the vault.